what's up everybody? So literally the most anticipated event of the whole year is the one where Apple launches their Mac lineup or their iPhone lineup. And so yesterday Apple has launched their latest iPhone 14 lineup along with literally the dopest Apple Watch ever. And so I'm going to talk about everything that is new in these products, especially newer than their predecessors. So let's start with the Apple Watch. Apple has announced their Apple Watch Series 8, Apple Watch SE, and the product that is literally the talk-worthy product is the Apple Watch Ultra. So Apple Watch Ultra is made for athletes and adventurers and scuba divers. So a watch that you can basically wear if you are scuba diving below 90 feet, or maybe you're climbing a mountain below 0 degrees, or maybe you're in a desert that is above 100 degrees. This is the product that is going to be your companion. So it's kind of a rival for all of the other adventurer watches like Casio ProTrack or maybe G-Shock that are rugged and actually made for this purpose. So Apple Watch Ultra is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is, however, a very costly product. It costs around $800. If you compare it to the latest price of iPhone 13, that's around $600. So $600 for the iPhone 13, $800 for the Apple Watch Ultra. I know, like, it sucks. But the product is so dope. It has a better design this time. It has an orange action button that is literally identifiable from a long distance. Like if you're going to be wearing Apple Watch Ultra, people can tell that that's the Apple Watch Ultra. It has thinner bezels, so a bigger display. And this time the display is more detailed. Because it's made for adventure, so it will give you all of the other details like compass and the altitude and your heart rate, the temperature, blah, 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 things like that all at once. And the coolest thing is, it has a night mode as well. So if you just rotate the crown, it's going to be shifted to the night mode, which is really light on your eyes, especially if you're in a remote area where there's not much light. So this kind of display is really good, and having a night mode is going to be really beneficial. Now it has 3 different kind of straps. One is the Alpine Orange, which is a simple cloth strap that you can wear with a clip. The second one is kind of a rubberized, more of a sporty looking strap that you can wear with a very fancy lock, to be very honest. And the third one is a simple cloth strap that you can just wear with a stick. And what else? Yeah, another thing that's really good about the Apple Watch Ultra, and it's also applicable for the latest iPhone 14 lineup as well, it's the crash detection. So now your watch and especially the iPhone 14s are going to be able to detect if you're in a crash. So they're going to be sending a message to the emergency contacts. They're going to be calling for SOS, right? And it's going to be like, this is the watch that is definitely too much pricey, too much expensive. I'm not going to deny that. But this is the watch that is seriously like so good. All right, so let's talk about the iPhone 14 lineup. This time the iPhone 14 mini is gone. There is no iPhone 14 mini, which is pretty obvious why. It was a smaller phone with a very powerful processor, a very hungry processor, but they just put in a very smaller battery, so of course it's not going to be sustainable. So they found the exact solution to that. They have announced the iPhone 14 Plus instead of iPhone 14 mini, which is literally so good because now you have a bigger phone, so with a bigger size battery, right? And this is something that's really, really good. By the way, the phones are bigger this time. So iPhone 14 is overall bigger than the iPhone 13. iPhone 14 is now 6.1 inches and the iPhone 14 Plus is 6.7 inches. The same sizes are applicable to iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max as well. 6.1 inches, 6.7 inches. So let's talk about what's new with the iPhone 14 lineup, right? It's pretty much the same thing as the iPhone 13. It's just a bigger version of iPhone 13 with a few more camera improvements, of course. But yeah, new colors are here. So we have 3 new colors. We have midnight black, we have a lighter shade of blue, And we have a product Red, which is just a fancy name for Red. We have a few software features that are also in the iPhone 14 Pros and the iPhone 14s. So I'm going to talk about them with the iPhone 14 Pro. So let's start with the iPhone 14 Pro, right? This time, a lot of things have changed. The design is pretty much the same, but the notch is modified. It's now a pill-shaped design. As I said in my rumors video, that most of the people are saying it's going to be a pill-shaped notch, which is true actually. iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max have a pill-shaped notch. So they have done something really cool with the notch actually. They have put a feature in their UI called Dynamic Island, which is basically a very smart way to utilize your notch. For example, let's say you are working but you're listening to music. So your music player is going to be on the place of the notch. Let's say you have your maps open, so it's going to be giving you directions on your notch. What else? So everything like that, your alerts, your notifications, right? All of these things are going to be on your notch area. Meanwhile, you're doing something else on your phone. So it's going to become more of a display for multitasking, right? But this is still really good. It's very intelligent. I'm not sure why other companies have not really thought about it. But yeah, I guess this is where Apple wins, right? They really find a smart way of doing something. It has an always-on display, by the way. The ProMotion display has now been upgraded, and now it can support literally up to 1 hertz of frame rate. 1 hertz. And so that's how they are able to achieve an always-on display that is literally so much power efficient that it's literally not going to affect on the battery life. Like, seriously. It's literally not going to have any effect on your power consumption because of the 1 hertz frame rate. So what they really do is, not like the Android phones where we have a separate, clock or something like that coming on the lock screen. They are just dimming the lock screen as the always-on display. So it's going to be like your lock screen, but a really dimmed version of it. So you can literally see everything, your lock screen wallpaper, your clock, your notifications and everything, but it's going to be actually locked at that time. Another thing that they have introduced in the iPhone 14 Pros is the new camera. So now the main camera is going to be 48 megapixel, which means more resolution, more details, right? This is really good. Like all of the other companies, they were introducing 50 megapixels, and Samsung even took it to 108 megapixels, but Apple was always stuck on 12, 12, 12, 12. But now we have a 48 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, and we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, which is really good. They have made a lot of improvements in the video as well as the photo quality in terms of low light performance, in terms of motion blur, and I'm going to talk about them one by one. So let's talk about the photo quality. Now they have introduced their latest camera sensor, which they're naming Photonic Engine, and that is help them to achieve a better low light performance. In fact, it's going to be on average 2 times better than their iPhone 13 Pro's performance, which is still really, really good. One really cool thing that they have done with the camera this time is the adaptive flash. Their flashlight is adaptive, and it's going to be based on the focal length of the object. So for example, if the object is going to be closer, it's going to adjust the flashlight. If it's going to be farther, it's going to basically throw a brighter beam of flashlight. This is really dope. I haven't seen that in any of the smartphone cameras before. So definitely, this is something totally new. All of the other things Apple is usually announcing, it's probably already announced in some Huawei or Oppo phone. With the video, they have done something really cool. They have introduced an action mode, which is literally so much more stabilized video footage. So for example, you are running, or you are capturing somebody who is running, or maybe who is playing or something, and meanwhile you're also running. So without using gimbal, you can achieve a pretty stable footage. The autofocus has been introduced in the front camera as well, so the selfies are going to be really good. It's going to have a bokeh effect as well, and you know, it's basically a better selfie camera. It's also 12 megapixel, by the way. So yeah, more resolution, more pixels, more quality. What else? Yeah, so the feature. Let's talk about the feature that I said it's also in the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Pros, is the SOS via satellite. So any of the emergency messages or emergency calls, you're going to be able to do it via a satellite. And this is really good, especially let's say you're hiking or you're tracking in an area where you don't have signals. You're still going to be able to track the satellite, and you're going to be able to send the messages via a satellite to the emergency numbers. And this is really, really helpful. Let's say you get stuck in a situation where you don't have the signals and you need help. You can track the satellite, you can send the message. This feature is free for only 2 years, for the first 2 years, but later on I think you're going to have to pay it for the monthly subscriptions or yearly subscription, I think. But yeah, this is really good. It also has crash detection, just like the Apple Watch. So if you're in a crash or if you're in a car accident, it's going to be able to send the emergency call. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm pretty sure that I didn't miss anything. But yeah, I just wanted to discuss everything that was new. I personally loved Apple Watch Ultra. Like, let me know what you think about the Apple Watch Ultra. If you had $800, what would you do for a watch? Would you buy Apple Watch Ultra or not? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, I've literally seen one thing. A lot of the rumors were really, really true. Like, check this video out to see what I'm talking about. These are the rumors that I talked about before the launch, and most of them have become true actually in one way or the other. All right, I'll see you next time.